The following is paid programming.
It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and this is our hour to talk about taxes and talk about all the things that are on your mind regarding the coronavirus and how it affects you and where your stimulus money is, and all the credits are available for businesses and small employers, things of that nature, what you should do, all the tax law changes that have taken effect. And we just want you to know that EG Tax is there for you. We have many of our offices open. We can see you virtually. You can come into our offices. We'll let you go in the parking lot. We'll pick up your stuff. You can stay in your car. You can come in person. We'll be masked up and put gloves on. We want to be there for you. Remember the extension, automatic extension for filing this year. The extended 2019 tax season goes to July the 15th, and you don't have to file your return or pay the liability till then. But we hope that you will do it now so that in the event you do have a liability, you'll be able to come up with the money. And we have all kinds of things available for you today here. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. You can text us at 3930. And I got my friends here in studio with me, Tiffany Fabian. Hey, Tiff.
Hey there, Esther. Happy Saturday.
How are you? And
I'm
you sound
really-
far away from the mic.
I'm not.
And Christopher Fabian.
And Chris
Hey,
thought
Chris.
the same thing.
Hello, Esther.
How are you?
Good. I know. She does sound very far
Does that
away.
sound better now?
There you go. There you go.
A little bit?
So we want to talk about some of the things that are going on in taxes, and we're preparing returns at multiple offices, even though tax season, the traditional tax season is over, right, Chris?
Yep. Oh my gosh, are we still doing returns? It's crazy. We have 5 offices open throughout the week. Even on Saturdays, you can give
Just
us a
not
call.
what we're used to.
We're not used to this, so.
Yeah, that's right. We're used to being kind of rolling up the tent on April the 15th.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, and again, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Still a lot of people are calling about stimulus, right?
Yep, absolutely. And we're good to help. It's so funny, Maria, the office next to mine, she's like, oh, because now I go right to the site, I put in their information, like I wanted to do it for Jay, but he doesn't have his information. And Maria's like, oh my God, you got that down pat, because I do it all day long for people.
Yeah, and so if you haven't gotten your stimulus and you're not having success going to irs.gov and you don't understand how to do it, you can call EG Tax. There's no charge. You can talk to one of our wonderful people at our corporate headquarters at 632-7886, and we will actually go on the site to help you to put in your direct deposit information if you haven't filed or if you want to know what your status is.
That's right. That's right. And I think we're really good about knowing, like, if you should use your 18 or your 19 information. Like, I just asked Jay, excuse me, when did you file? And he told me. So I'm like, you filed later. So we're going to use your 18 information because I think the IRS is just up to March 25th. So if you filed after March 25th, you're going to want to use your 18 information. If you filed prior, you're going to use your 19.
Okay. I'm Esther Gulius, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. You can text us at 3930. And we got Rose Marie. Hey, Rose, how can we help you, my dear?
Hi, Esther. I'm a little concerned because I mailed my 1040 tax form on February 10th, and I haven't received my refund. And I know the IRS is closed, and I went to their website, and it said it has no record of my tax. But I know people that sent it in the same time I did, and they received their refund.
Well, you see, most people file electronically.
No.
If you filed a paper return, quite frankly, they probably haven't even opened it up yet.
because they're so overwhelmed.
And since that hasn't been processed, why not just file electronically right now? And then when they go to process it, when they finally do go back to work in July, if they go back in July, they go to process, they'll see the return's already been filed. So why don't you just go ahead and put it in electronically?
Okay, well, I was concerned because people I know have received their refund already, and I haven't. But anyway, I'm a senior citizen, and I'm not too good at electoral filing.
If you call our office, you can mail us the stuff. You can mail us your tax return, and we'll input it for you. So, I mean, because I will tell you, the last thing they process is paper returns. So the 1040Xs and the paper 1040 forms, yours might have just gotten. And then again, you don't
And
even
now
know
with the
if it was
corona, it's
received
delaying
because it
even
was
more.
mailed in. So that's what I'd suggest. If you need our help, we're very happy to help you.
So just call your office and send in.
Yeah,
form.
632-7886.
Yep. Well, our office in East Aurora is even open by appointment only.
Yeah.
So you could even call them to make an appointment to do it there too, if you want.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. So I shouldn't be too concerned then? You think it's just...
No, I don't think they probably processed it. And then let's face it, in the middle of tax season, everybody went home. It was because of COVID. So
I was just...
I just think they haven't processed it.
Yeah, it's a paper one.
Okay,
the
but I
paper
will...
return.
I'll give in your office a call and get my...
All right. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Yep,
Okay,
I know.
and-
I know. I had one caller today at the office. He sent his in paper, and they same thing. Don't have record of it. I said, "Why did you send it paper?" He goes, "I have identity theft and a PIN, so I always mail it in. I have you guys do it, and then I write." I said, "No, give us the PIN." And so I sent it today. So hopefully he'll get his refund in 2 weeks instead of waiting.
Yeah, and I have another client who has identity problems, but he lost his PIN, so we had to do it paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
So-
But basically, electronics
Is the way to
the
go.
way that they want it done. The state of New York will penalize us if we send it in as a paper return. They don't want paper; they want electronics, and the electronics then supersedes the hand processing of the return. So it takes the human element out of it until they start matching everything up at a later date. So. If you are somebody that sent it in by paper and you haven't gotten it and it shows it hasn't been processed, I'd get it. I just send it in. Make sure you get it sent in electronically, and that'll supersede any paper stuff that comes in.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, let's go back to the phones, and we got Warren. Hey, Warren, how can we help you?
I got a stimulus check for the estate of my father. It doesn't make sense to me that his estate would be getting a stimulus check, but it's got his name.
They just announced that they're going to ask for all these checks back. So you're going to get a letter eventually saying we want our money back.
Well,
Right.
the check is made out to him deceased.
Right.
Right.
So what you're going to do is not do anything with it. They're going to send you a notice that they want it back. I wouldn't send it back until I get the notice.
Oh.
Just don't cash the check.
No, I had no intention of cashing the check, but
But initially, they didn't say what to do with it. They were sending it out to deceased people on a pretty regular basis. So just if you're somebody that has gotten that, just set it aside. They will ask for it back, and at that point in time, send it back.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for your
Yeah,
call.
they had a lot to manage, and so with it came all these
I mean, they were
nuances.
sending out tons of money.
Yeah.
Right, to all
Yeah.
different kinds
Yep.
of people. So, all right, why don't we take a short break? I'm Esther Gullius, the tax lady from EG Tax. We'll be back on the other side with Jerry, Matt, and all your calls, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on your cell phone. Talk to you on the other side.
We are family. I got all my sisters.
Hey, everybody, to us, your family, and it's nice to think that somebody cares about you. I will tell you, in this electronic world where nobody we can't touch each other, we can't talk to each other, EG Tax is there, and I will tell you, we will go all the way to the wall to help you. So, and we don't charge for many, 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 many things, especially if you have questions during the week. Just give us a call or go to our website at egtax.com, and we are there to help you, okay? And I wanted to mention something that for those of you that have gotten the business owners that have gotten PPP, you can also apply for payroll tax relief. So if you're one of those businesses that were shuttered and you have gotten PPP and you're going to apply for the loan forgiveness, you can still apply for the delay of payroll taxes if you of payment of payroll taxes on 6.2% of your payroll taxes. So it would be for you have to pay half of the payroll taxes that you're pushing off by December 31st of 2021, and the second half by December 31st of 2022. So if you got the PPP and you have the loan and it hasn't been forgiven, then you can apply for the payroll tax credit. If you apply for PPP and you do have the loan that's going to be forgiven, you can push off your employer payroll taxes on those payroll taxes not covered by the PPP, and that'll save you a lot of money too.
And
So I
it
know many
sounds-
businesses are struggling.
It sounds all very confusing. So if you have questions throughout the week, we're there to help you at 632-7886.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's go back to the phones. We're going to talk to Jerry. Hey, Jerry, how are you, sir?
Good, Esther. Thank you again for the program. I have a question on annuity. I inherited a long time ago an annuity from my mother. I was beneficiary and I didn't pay any tax. And I just want to verify that would be the same. I haven't drawn from it. So that would be the same to my children beneficiary. It would be taxed
When did Mom pass away?
back in the 80s.
You should have been withdrawing from it, right?
Oh, I didn't. I put it in Vanguard annuity.
Okay, well-
The original company, MetLife, ended, so that was rolled over to a Vanguard annuity, insurance annuity.
Okay, so the first thing I would suggest you do is check with them to find out if you had to be doing RMDs on that money. Because I don't know which type of annuity you have, but the original basis, what Mom put into it, is
Right.
going to be the basis that wouldn't be taxable, but all the appreciation for all these years would be taxable. What Chris is kind of scratching his head about is how come you weren't doing required minimum distributions. So I would call them and find out why you didn't have to do RMDs on this annuity. In the event you don't have to and it pushes off to your heirs, then their basis is going to be Mom's basis all the way back, and everything else when they start withdrawing is going to be taxable.
Oh, okay. Instantaneously or over a short period? Is it like...
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm curious as to why there's been no RMDs. So we may be, you may be opening up a can of worms because you, once you reach age 70 and a half, now 72, you have to start taking required minimum distributions on IRAs and annuities. So I would talk to Vanguard and find out, was there a special provision that you didn't have to do that? So then they would annuitize it unless we find out that you should have been, then you kind of have a problem because you're going to have to take out a lot of money.
Okay, let me tell you that at Vanguard, I have that and an IRA. I have an annuity in the IRA, and each year from Vanguard, I get a statement at the amount I have to take out. And I use
From both or from just your IRA?
out from the IRA.
Well, if I were you, I would talk to my investment advisor and find out why your annuity doesn't require an RMD.
Oh.
It just might have fallen through the cracks.
Oh, okay.
If you need help, just give us a jingle, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, because in that situation, if I don't understand why there wouldn't be.
Yeah, I know,
wouldn't
that's,
be,
I'm
but-
just-
Yeah, I mean, but there's all these different products out there. So
Right.
in the event that he should have been taking the RMD, then what's going to happen is he's going to have to take out all that money that he didn't take out. And the penalty for failure to do that is 50% if he had to, of the amount of money that wasn't taken out. So then he'd have to ask for forgiveness at the IRS and find out if they would forgive the 50% penalty.
Yeah, I wonder if they, because it was in the 80s, who knows, maybe they took it all out of Mom's name. He paid tax on it once, and then they started started a new annuity, you know. Could have been.
Well, that's why I said he's got
He's
to
gotta-
check with
yep.
with his investment advisor. So anyway, to go back to what I was talking about, and we're going to get back to the phones again. If you're a small business and you're paying payroll taxes and you have not gotten the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program, and you can take a credit of payroll taxes up to $5,000, eligible wages are $10,000, maximum credit is $5,000 per employee. If you did take money from the PPP loan, but you want to, you're not going to be able to have them forgiven because you had PPP, but you can push off the FICA portion for about a year of the first payment and of the balance in a year after that, so 21 and 22. And again, all these things help employers.
Yeah.
So if you need help, you can give us a call and we'll be very happy to help you.
Sounds like one of your favorite things, defer, defer, defer.
Well, I mean, if you don't have the money, it's,
Yeah.
And one of the worst things is the FICA because they need that money for for Medicare.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go quickly back to the phones. We got Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Good. What can we help you with?
So I filed electronically, got my return back, and then all of a sudden my work says, "Oh, we have an amendment."
Okay.
I got the amendment done, mailed it in. Are they not going to be looking at the amendment?
Not till after July.
Okay. So then
So you don't have to worry. And the amount that if you had taxes due on that, it's not due till July the 15th as well.
Yeah, and if you're going to the stimulus site to enter your information, you're not going to put the amendment figures. You're going to
Put
put
the original figures
prior original figures in.
Okay.
Okay, Matt?
They're going to get to it in July, and I'll just get my checks and after that then. Okay.
Well, did you not? Didn't you say you got your original refund?
I got my original refund.
Oh, okay. The amended, there was extra money coming back from the amended?
Yes.
Yeah, you won't get that. And they'll pay you with interest.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And New York State
All right.
will
Hey,
take
thanks
a
for
while
calling.
too, unless it was
Okay,
electronically
so
filed.
who do we have here? We have
Sue.
Sue. Oh, Sue from
Wheatfield.
Wheatfield. Hey, Sue, how can we help you?
Hi, Esther. I have a question. It's regarding with all this corona pandemic, filing for unemployment. I believe they've opened it up for people that, I have a very small business that I run. That's my primary source of income for myself. I'm married. My husband's employed, just employed himself separate, his own, through a regular job and so forth. But my question is, so am I eligible to apply for some sort of unemployment? I do craft shows in the summer, and all the ones that I would have done this year selling my stuff that I sell.
Are kaput. So do you make more than $2,600 a quarter?
Oh, gosh, no.
So I think that's the benchmark, isn't that?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yep.
So regrettably,
So if-
I don't think
so
you
if-
make enough.
Right. So if you make less than $2,600 a quarter, you would not qualify for unemployment. So I think that's their benchmark.
Okay.
But
But
again,
good question.
as far as unemployment, I'm not an unemployment specialist. I would suggest you go to New York State Department of Labor and look at their qualifications. But I'm fairly sure that that's the benchmark.
Okay. Well, good to know. I
Okay.
don't spend all day
All right.
trying to file it. But thank you so much.
You're very welcome. But and just to let people know, this is the first time due to coronavirus, if you're self-employed like this lady is, you're entitled, and you make, and I believe it's the $2,600 a quarter, you're entitled to get unemployment for the first time from the federal government, and it's called the Pandemic Unemployment Act, and so you can get up to $600 a week from the federal government for 39 weeks. It's a lot of money. And while we're on the subject of it being a lot of money, it is a lot of money. It's like $43,000
Yeah.
between federal and state. If you're taking the maximum, you want to make sure you have your taxes withheld at source. Otherwise, you could owe $3,000 or $4,000 at tax time next year, and it could just ruin your winter time while you're
Yeah.
trying to fight off the coronavirus again.
Right, right,
Yep.
right.
You have to earn at least $2,600 in one quarter.
Right.
And then two other quarters that
So
you had
Chris,
to
look,
equal. Yep.
Eric, thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Right. All right, let's go back to the phones. We have
William.
William. Hey, William, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. What can we do for you?
I filed my taxes February 14th.
Uh-huh.
I got my state return.
Uh-huh.
I have yet to get my federal, and it says it's processing.
Yep. There's a lot of those too, and I don't know what the holdup is on that. Tiff, have you been successful finding out what some of those holds up are?
And no, one of them the other day, two of them the other day, people did injured spouse. I don't think that this gentleman did an injured spouse. No, and the worst part is the practitioner line is closed, so we're working with hands tied behind our
That's right.
back.
So if you want to give us a call, we'll be very happy to help you, William, but they are closed, and we're doing the very best we can. I'm Esther Goulias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. I think we're going to break for the news coming up here, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm Esther Goulias. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, everybody. To us, your family. I'm Esther Goulias from EG Tax, and we're here to help you with any questions you might have regarding stimulus, some of the changes. Maybe you got a business, you're wondering about PPP. The other thing is the EIDL, where it was going to give $10,000 right away in the first 3 days. It's the Emergency Economic Injury Grant. That's still in effect, and as a matter of fact, it's Act Section 1106. So if you're somebody, it's Grant Section 1110. So if you are somebody that's looking for the EIDL, that is still in effect. You can take, they're actually making loans up to $1 million as well, but this is a grant. So the important thing is, don't sit there by yourself and think somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, gee, we want to help your business. That's something you really need to work with your accountant on. If you want to use EG Tax, we're happy to help you. But if you're a small business, I don't know how much longer this is going to go on, and you certainly need the help. So.
Yeah, and I wanted to say for that former caller, we could also do a Form 911 and ask for a taxpayer advocate to get involved if his
right,
refund.
But it didn't sound like it was an emergency, right?
Right.
So it's not like they were seasoning his bank account. Hey, Tiff, we got some text, right?
Yep, the first one is in 2019, I withdrew $5,000 from a 20-year-old Roth IRA. Where should I show the monies on the federal tax since it is tax-free because it's over 15 years old?
Okay, well, that's kind of not the way it goes, is it, Chris?
No, I was
It's
just going to
based
chuckle
upon
a
your
little.
age.
Yep, you first have to be over 59 and a half to make it totally tax-free.
Right. So let's say you were 15 when they started a Roth for you, and now you're 35, and you took out $5,000. Well, the appreciation is going to be taxable, because you have to wait till you're 59 and a half to start withdrawing from your Roth, even though you've already paid taxes on it, because they're not going to make you pay taxes on the principal, which was already pre-taxed, but on the appreciation, and it's subject to penalty.
Right, because you're under 59 and a half.
Right.
If you took out more than your basis. So that's the whole thing. It's your appreciation could be taxable. If you had a $20,000 basis and you took out $10,000, the 8606 page 2 would keep track. You would do that, and you wouldn't pay tax on it. But you got to use the 8606 page 2.
But that would be assuming that it had negative appreciation, right? Of course, right now it could be negative appreciation.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
we
was
got
funny
another
when, he was so insistent on the 15 years. Next text it says, I am getting a 600 extra in unemployment. Is that taxable?
Yes.
Yep, said yes,
All
Bobby.
unemployment. The stimulus is tax-free. the unemployment's taxable, and I said if you're getting $500 plus $600 from the federal, that's $1,100 a week. That's like $43,000. You betcha it's going to be a problem.
And-
you want to make sure that you withhold taxes at the source.
Right, and that's not considered earned income. So if there's people out there who are used to getting the earned income credit, you may not get it, or you may get very little this year. So you
Make
got
sure
to
you're
make
paying.
sure
I
your
mean,
withholdings are appropriate.
Really and truly, you ought to look at this whole unemployment situation not as a windfall, but as a stopgap, and you should get back to your employer as soon as you can, because you want to work,
Yep.
Definitely.
especially if you have earned income credit.
Yep.
Because without earned income, you won't get the earned income credit. Okay, let's go back to Jim in Lockport. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Esther. I just wanted to go over something you said. You said about unemployment with the $2,600 a quarter and to have at least 2 quarters. That's for traditional unemployment. So right now there's 2 ways to collect unemployment. There's the regular way, traditional, and then there's a pandemic unemployment assistance way. Of course, like you said, that's for self-employed and all that. And that one, there's not a minimum amount.
Okay, well, great. That's
They
great to
have-
know. So so our listener who was the lady that had the small business, but don't you have to send in proof that you were self-employed?
You do.
Yeah.
Either Schedule C or a 1099.
1099.
Right, but do they require you to have a net profit on your Schedule C?
If you have a loss, I don't. I can't say for sure, but
Yeah. Okay, because it would seem to me
Thing is-
that any Schedule C at a loss would not be something that is going to qualify for unemployment. But boy, I really appreciate your 2 cents on the subject, Jim.
yeah, if they get the minimum amount for a pandemic, which is $182 per week, then they also get $600 on
The
that.
$600 for the
Yep.
federal. Yeah.
Okay.
So then they would end up with $782 a week,
Yeah.
which is
That's
not bad,
cool. That's good.
right?
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Jim. Thanks for your call. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. And, we love to hear any kind of feedback that you might have. We're tax experts, not unemployment experts, except for the taxability of them. So let's go back to the phones to talk to Frank on.
Frank just dropped.
We got
Ah,
Pat from
okay.
Cheektowaga.
All right. Hey, Pat, how are you?
Good. How are you, Esther?
Good.
The reason I'm calling, EG Tax did my taxes in January.
Okay.
It was a joint with my husband who passed away last year. When the stimulus check came, it was for $2,400.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to have to give his $1,200 back?
I believe that's the correct, right, Chris?
That's, I mean, it very, I'd say 90% yes.
Okay. How do will I?
They're mailing out letters, and they're going to give you instructions on how to mail the money back to them.
But did you get the whole $2,400 in your checking account?
Yes.
Yeah. So spend your $1,200 and then wait until you hear the marching orders from the Internal Revenue Service. With the staff being furloughed, with most of the people or many of the people gone from the IRS and state of New York, it really is very difficult to get any kind of concrete marching orders from these people. So if I were you, I'd just set that money aside. You spend your $1,200, but the money from your husband, I'm pretty sure they're going to ask for it back.
Okay.
All right?
Fine. Thank
you.
And my guess is on the tax return for 2020, if you don't send it back, you can rectify it then too.
Right, and as a matter of fact, there is going to be, we've talked about this before, there's going to be a coronavirus credit on the 2020 tax return. And that's going to be the place where all of us who are out there who have gotten short refunds, stimulus, got more than we were supposed to, we'll be able to reconcile it on that form that's going to say I had minor children in my home, that I should have gotten $500 for that they didn't know about. You're going to get that extra money. Otherwise, as a matter of fact, I think you have to reconcile that online by May the 15th if you do have small children in your home that you haven't gotten the stimulus for. But again, that's all going to, everybody's going to get an opportunity to fix it when they do their 2020 tax return.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, now we got another text, Steph?
We do. It says, Esther, my daughter works as a substitute for a local school. She also has a part-time job, about 25 hours a week. Unfortunately, right now, she's not getting any substitute jobs. Is she eligible for unemployment due to the fact that she can't substitute, but yet she still works 25 hours a week?
Well, if she's working, then she's not unemployed.
Right.
Yeah, so the answer would be
no.
regrettably no.
Right, right. And many people are going to their employers and saying, if you need to whittle down people, I'll be happy to go. Right?
Which
so
is
that's
so
kind of
good.
voluntary unemployment. But then the employer, especially those that took the payroll protection plan money, they're being pushed to hire people. So there's kind of a yin-yang. And I will tell you that as an employer, you really do see this where people say, gee, I think I'm making more money staying home. But everybody has to think about this. I mean, in the end here, there has to be businesses to hire people. So we all might be saying, yay, I get $43,000 for staying home for 9 months. But at the end, we want to make sure we have a business to go back to.
Well said. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, then who else we got here?
There's one more text. It says, why is the system so complex, the tax system so complex in capitals? And we concur.
Well, I mean, it is. It's very, especially with this coronavirus here. If you're a small business owner, there are a lot of things that you can put in your toolbox, if you know about them, to help you save money. And it isn't just for gigantic businesses. Many of these are for businesses with employees under 500. And there are things that you can do with your payroll company to save you payroll money. There's the emergency money that you can apply for. There's the PPP you can apply for. And then the other thing is maybe you're the wrong business entity type. Like, for instance, we see businesses many times that are C Corps that should be S Corps.
Yeah, Chris was talking to one the other day who's filing a few years back, and his conversation was, why are you a C Corp? And so we have that conversation with people all the time, and it's a really good question.
So when you're a C Corp, that means that the corporation pays taxes on the bottom line, and when you take money out, it comes out as a dividend, so you're double taxed. Now, they reduced the tax rate on a C Corp to 21%. But if your C Corp is only making $30,000 bottom line, that means that you should have paid at 10%. But you're being taxed at 21% under tax reform. So that means you'd pay $6,300 in taxes. And then when you take that money out and put it on your personal return, you're going to pay another $3,000. So you're paying $9,300 on that money. If it were an S Corp, all you'd pay, if you're in the 10% bracket, is $3,000. You'd save $6,300 changing your business type. And how hard is it to do that, you guys?
Not very hard. A form. Chris?
Not hard at all.
Right, right.
Not hard at all. So if you're an S Corp, if you're a C Corp, look into becoming an S Corp. It's very simple, and in many situations, it's the better situation to be in.
Yep, definitely. You got to give us
All
a
right,
call.
let's go back to the phones. Who we got here?
We have Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, hi, Esther. I think I heard you say a few minutes ago that the PPP loan is tax-free. Is that correct?
No. Okay, so the PPP all right, all loans are tax-free. Okay, if you take a loan, it's tax-free because borrowed money you got to pay tax, and you pay it back on after-tax dollars. Many people are going to end up getting a grant from the PPP if they have used 75% of the grant of the PPP on wages and 25% on operation. They're going to end up with a grant. If they get a grant, of course, that's completely tax-free. What you want to make sure, if you're a small business owner, is that you understand if you end up with a grant, then you can't also deduct the payroll taxes and the expenses that they forgave, because it was not
Tax-free
only
money.
tax-free, but it was a grant. You don't have to pay it back.
Yeah, I'm calling because I thought that would be a misunderstanding unless you added the full disclosure. On Thursday night, I came across the IRS notice where they declared that if it is a grant, you're not eligible to deduct the expenses that were qualified.
Of course, because if it's a grant, it means that that's money that they gave you that you don't have to pay back. If it's a loan, it is tax-free, but you're going to pay it back with the after-tax dollars, and so the expenses would still be deductible. If it's a grant, the expenses won't be deductible.
Yeah, so that is, in effect, that renders it a taxable.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, let's say somebody
It's just
you
you
got
can't double dip.
$200,000. So if you got the $200,000 and you paid your employees and operating, and you don't have to pay it back, how is that taxable?
It's taxable because you're not allowed to deduct the expenses that.
Okay, but sir, let's say those expenses, you're in the 10% bracket, and you paid the $200,000, and you saved 10% because you're in the 10% bracket. Okay, that means you saved $20,000. You paid $200,000 to save $20,000. That's how the tax code works. But if somebody gives you a grant, the entire $200,000 is tax-free.
You know, I'm going to try to put it simply. When you go for a mortgage, do you have to pay tax on that money you get for a mortgage? No. It's the same principle.
But he's thinking because you can't write it off like it's
Right,
gonna be,
right.
Yeah, it's just it's not whatever. If they let you deduct it, it's multiplied by your tax bracket. If you're in the 15% bracket and you did $200,000, you're going to save $30,000 in taxes, but you're spending $200,000 to save $30,000. If it's a grant, the whole $200,000 is tax free. I will take $30,000 in non-deductibility to get $200,000 any day. So
Me too.
But thank you for your call. All right, and who else we got?
I think we got to take a break right now.
All right, we're going to take a break. I'm Esther Goulias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on his cell phone. Text us at 3930. We'll see you on the other side. Hey, I'm Esther Goulias, the tax lady, and to us, you are family. And so when you're sitting around the dinner table with the two of you, because that's all you can be with, and you got tax questions, or you're wondering, you know, you can just give EG Tax a call at our corporate headquarters, or you can go to our website. We answer questions right away. We certainly want to help you. It is. I'm not saying that it isn't challenging right now with the IRS kind of being on furlough until July the 15th, and who knows if it won't be longer than that too in the state of New York. So we certainly want to help you. Yeah, I know.
No, New York State is there answering calls. I called them several times.
No, she's saying because Cuomo
Right.
won't let people.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cuomo deals with the IRS. Okay.
Right. Okay, the other thing is I wanted to let people know is if you're hurting and you have a 401k plan, there's a change in the tax law that because of the coronavirus, if you're under the age of 59 and a half, you can take up to $100,000 for emergency out of your 401k plan, and they're not going to charge you a premature withdrawal penalty. And if you pay it back within, if you take a loan as opposed to withdrawal, if you take a loan and pay it back within they're going to let you pay it back over a 3-year period. So those are two really good options. Now, if I were you and I were having financial troubles and you're looking to your 401k plan and you're thinking, how much can we get out? Let's take out the whole 100. Take out only as much as you actually need. You can always take out more later, but only take out what you're actually need. What you really need,
Yes.
because then it's a smaller amount. If you are if you're tempted to take out the whole 100,000, you'll end up spending the whole 100,000.
Right. Well, I know. I had somebody this week that took out $80,000 And I said, what did you take it out for? He goes, oh, I had to pay bills, da, da, da. I said, you should have called us. And I said, you could have done other options. And he looked at me really weird, and he goes, what options? And just by splitting, if he would have split it from 19 and 20, it would have saved him over $7,000 in taxes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just a simple little option, but there are a lot of options out there. So
Borrow, if you got to take it, borrow it rather than
Disperse
withdraw
it.
Right. Because, and as long as your company's still in business. Obviously, if the company closes up, then it'll all be a taxable event.
Yep.
So, okay, let's go back to the phones. We have who?
Greg from Williamsville.
Greg? Hey, Greg.
Hey, hi, Esther. I got a couple of questions for you. I did receive my stimulus, okay, if you want to call it that. I had to file the non-filers because I didn't file for 18 or 19 simply because I was under the threshold. And I was told a maximum of 3 years, even though you're under the threshold. But for 18 and 19, I didn't make a lot of money. Like I was under the threshold, so there's
Okay,
not a
but
lot
are you having any withholding?
I'm sorry?
Do you have withholding, federal withholding?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
In other words, are they taking money out of your? Are you working, or do you have a pension?
No, I had to leave work in December. No pensions, no 401ks, none of.
No, and so you were working in December?
Yes,
So did they take withholding income taxes out of your paycheck?
yes.
Then you have that money coming back.
Yes.
Besides Social Security and
you're
Medicare.
under the threshold, but you have withholding, and you want to get that money back.
I
You want to
realize-
file.
Yes, I realized that for 18 and 19. I just didn't get to it. I didn't get.
Okay, all right, but you know that this is something that I want people to know. Even though you're under the threshold, that means that you're not going to have any taxes. But if they withheld, you want that money back.
Yeah.
No, I definitely know that. I had
Okay.
other issues,
All right.
and I just couldn't get it done.
That's all right. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just some of the saddest things that we see is people that they call and they say, "Do I have to file?" No, you don't have to file. You want to file
I just didn't
because
make.
you got money coming back. You know.
For the
You know,
statue.
18 or 19. It was just it was low, but I know there's money
Sure.
coming back. I did
for
have
you.
a bit of a financial nest. Okay, but my question to you is, I had to leave that job on the advice of a doctor, and so I had to, either way. Like shoulder, arm, it was a constant, repetitious maneuvers of that. But my question for you is, I did file the non-filers. It took 3 weeks. I got it on Thursday. But now I have something set up with a staffing agency. But the Monday that they called everything off for essential workers, he called me on a Friday from this agency and said, Greg, we're all stopped. Like there's nobody working in this type of job. It was non-essential. So I've just been waiting for this guy. They're out too because their workers aren't working. Now,
Right. So why don't you apply for unemployment?
well, I didn't know what I could do because I left.
I mean, if you're looking for work, you're able to work, you want to work, you've been working, why wouldn't you apply for unemployment?
Because I left my job. I wasn't fired. If you quit, they won't pay you UI, from my understanding.
Okay, but remember, this is the Pandemic Unemployment Act, and so if you are ready to go back to work, you want to go back to work, you've been released to go back to work, but there is no work, and you had been working before,
Right.
I would apply.
Well, this was my question. That was my final question to you. Am I eligible for anything? So
I
because
can't see why not. Can you, Chris?
I would try. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt to try.
Because you want to work, you're able to work, you've been released to work, but there is no work, right?
right, that's exactly.
And you'd been working prior to this.
Yeah. So what is this called under this pen?
It's pandemic unemployment.
Okay.
There's a pandemic
CARES Act.
unemployment act that went into effect under the New York State unemployment. And if you want to call on Monday, we can do a three-way and help you to navigate that.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, I didn't know whether I was eligible for anything simply
Sure.
because I left
Well,
my job.
I mean, I believe, and if anybody knows better than I'm not an unemployment person. I'm mostly an employment person, not an unemployment. So I can't see why you wouldn't. If you're able, willing, and want to work, and you've been released to work, then
and you were
know,
ready
I
to
don't
go
see why
back.
you wouldn't. Right, and you've been working, so.
Yeah, well, I left my job in December, not on the advice. Well, basically on the advice of a doctor. I didn't get any doctor's letter saying, this guy couldn't do any work.
Mm-hmm.
No release forms. I just left.
Well, again, in the event that they ask you if you're able to work, that would be the crux of the thing. So give us a call. We'll find out for you. Okay.
Okay. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, sir. All right, we got a quick one here.
We'll go to Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, I just had a quick question about the stimulus. We have not gotten ours yet, and when I checked on the IRS website, it said that they don't have enough information, that they didn't have our bank account information yet.
Well, wait. Is it they need your bank account information, or they don't have enough information?
I think it said that they were missing our bank account information.
Okay, so that means you got to go in and you got to enter your 18 or 19 information, which will let you enter your routing number and account number to get you your stimulus within 2 weeks.
It's such a fast process.
Is we've used the same bank account.
But they need to know.
But if you got to understand, there's millions and millions and millions of people that they're sending this money out. For you to say we've been using it, gee, are you stupid? You should know better. The thing is, you would be proactive to put it in to make sure that you're making it easy for them.
'Cause they've
You don't
got
want to
lots
make it
going on.
difficult.
Yeah, if you had
If they don't easily have it, they're going to send you a check.
Yeah, if you had a balance due and you were doing ACH debit, that doesn't count that they have your account information.
Okay.
And if you
I
need
would-
help
I
on
would
Monday,
go
I
in.
can
If you
help
need
you
help, give us
navigate.
a call. There's no charge.
So hesitant because I'm of the mindset don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
But if you went to the IRS.gov, you put it in there.
Yes.
You're on the IRS's website. You're not going to get it directly deposited if you don't put it in. You can wait for a check.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. We got another quick
Paul?
one, Chris?
Yep. Try to get Paul in real fast.
Yeah, Paul.
Hey, in 2018, adjusted gross was about $65,000.
Uh-huh.
2019, I had a one-time capital gain of about 40. Okay.
So you were over the 75.
Are you single?
No, that's where I'm going. I filed separately.
You know what? We are out of time. Call our office.
Call us
We're there right
632-7886. Anybody with stimulus questions, we will help you Monday through Friday, 9 to 7. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax. The rest of you that are holding, we will talk to you at our office. Have a great week. Stay safe. Stay well. Thanks for listening. God bless. Bye-bye.